Do you ever feel a quiet whisper of disappointment, even when everything seems to be going as planned in your later years? Perhaps you expected these golden years to be a time of unparalleled joy and peace, but instead, you find yourself grappling with a sense of unease, a nagging feeling that something is missing, or that happiness is just a little further out of reach than you thought it would be. It's a painful reality that many older adults face, believing they've done everything right, only to discover their deepest desires for contentment aren't quite fulfilled. What if I told you that some of the very habits and mindsets we unknowingly adopt as we age are actually standing directly in the way of the profound happiness we so richly deserve? It's a secret many don't realize until it's almost too late. But it's never too late to change. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 shocking mistakes older people make that silently destroy their happiness. And more importantly, how you can sidestep them to truly thrive. Stay with me, because if you watch to the end, there's something that will truly surprise you and could change everything. Let's dive right into the first surprising pitfall that quietly erodes our happiness as we get older. And that is the slow, often unnoticed, disengagement from our social connections. It's a common scenario as careers end, children grow up and move away, and our once bustling daily routines simplify. The opportunities for casual interaction can diminish. We might find ourselves spending more time at home, perhaps feeling a little tired, or thinking that we've earned the right to simply relax and be alone. And while there's certainly a place for peace and quiet, the mistake comes when this natural winding down turns into a subtle form of social isolation. Humans are inherently social creatures, and our brains are wired for connection, regardless of our age. When we stop actively nurturing our friendships and seeking out new connections, we deprive ourselves of a vital source of joy, support, and mental stimulation. Think about it. Remember how good it felt after a lively conversation with a friend, or sharing a laugh over a cup of tea. Those moments aren't just pleasant. They're essential for our emotional well-being. Without them, feelings of loneliness can creep in, leading to a general sense of malaise, and sometimes even contributing to more serious issues like depression. It's not about needing a huge social calendar, but about having consistent, meaningful interactions. This mistake isn't about intentionally pushing people away. It's often a passive withdrawal, a slow drift into a smaller world. But here's the good news. Reversing this trend is often simpler than we think, and it doesn't require becoming a social butterfly overnight. It begins with conscious effort. Take the simple step of reaching out to an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. A quick phone call, a text message, or even an old-fashioned handwritten note can rekindle a connection. Think about local community centers, senior groups, or even classes in something that interests you, like pottery, gardening, or a book club. These are ready-made opportunities to meet new people who share your interests. Volunteering is another fantastic avenue. It not only connects you with others, but also gives you a sense of purpose and contribution, which we'll talk more about later. Even something as simple as becoming a regular at a local coffee shop and striking up conversations with familiar faces can make a world of difference. It's about opening yourself up to small moments of connection. I've seen countless examples of people who felt lonely and then transformed their lives by joining a walking group, or even just making a point to chat with their neighbors more regularly. One woman I know, after her husband passed, felt terribly alone. She decided to volunteer at her local library, simply shelving books. Within weeks, she was chatting with staff, recommending books to patrons, and finding a new sense of belonging she hadn't realized she was missing. Her whole demeanor brightened. The key is to be proactive. Don't wait for invitations. Create opportunities. Remember, a rich social life isn't about quantity, but quality. A few genuine connections can make all the difference. Now, let's talk about another profound mistake that can quietly sabotage our happiness in later life. And that's allowing past regrets and old grievances to define our present. It's so easy to fall into this trap. We look back on our lives, and perhaps we see decisions we wish we'd made differently, opportunities we let slip away, or even unresolved conflicts with family or friends that sting just as much today as they did years ago. We might replay arguments in our heads, dwelling on what was said or done, or lament paths not taken. This constant backward glance, this replaying of old tapes, is incredibly destructive. It traps us in the past, preventing us from fully experiencing and appreciating the present moment. Think of it like carrying a heavy backpack filled with bricks, each brick representing a past regret or a grudge. The longer you carry it, the heavier it gets, and the more it weighs you down, making it impossible to move forward freely or with joy. This constant internal dialogue of blame, resentment, or what if, not only consumes our mental energy, but also creates a negative emotional landscape that overshadows any potential for happiness. It can sour our mood, make us irritable, and even impact our physical health through chronic stress. We might tell ourselves that holding on to these feelings is justified, that we were wronged, or that we need to remember the lessons. But in reality, all it does is tie us to pain that no longer serves us. The surprising truth is that holding on to these past burdens harms us far more than anyone else. The person who wronged you might not even remember the incident, or perhaps they're long gone. The missed opportunity cannot be recaptured. So, how do we unpack this heavy backpack and set ourselves free? It starts with a conscious decision to forgive, not necessarily to condone or forget, but to release the emotional grip these events have on you. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. This might involve writing a letter to someone you need to forgive, even if you never send it, simply to get those feelings out. It could mean reframing past failures as learning experiences that shaped who you are today. It's about acknowledging the pain but choosing not to let it define your future. Another powerful technique is to practice gratitude for what you have now and what those experiences, even difficult ones, taught you. Consider the story of my neighbor, a retired teacher, who for years held on to resentment towards a former colleague who had unfairly taken credit for her work. It festered inside her, making her bitter and cynical. One day, her granddaughter asked her why she always seemed so sad when talking about her old job. That simple question was a wake-up call. She realized that holding on to that anger was only hurting herself. She decided to write down all her feelings, then symbolically burned the paper. It was a small act, but she told me it felt like a heavy weight had lifted from her shoulders. She started smiling more, engaging more, and rediscovered a lightness in her spirit. Letting go of the past doesn't mean erasing it. It means choosing not to let it steal your present happiness. It means focusing your energy on creating beautiful new memories, rather than replaying old hurts. It's a profound act of self-care, and it opens the door to a truly joyful existence. Moving on to the third significant mistake that often undermines happiness in our later years, neglecting our physical health and personal well-being. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that as we age, aches, pains, and a general decline in energy are inevitable and unchangeable. We might accept nagging discomforts as just part of getting older, or decide that it's too late to start new healthy habits. This mindset is profoundly detrimental. While some aspects of aging are unavoidable, a significant portion of our physical well-being, and therefore our daily happiness, is directly influenced by the choices we make about our bodies. Ignoring consistent physical activity, eating a diet full of processed foods, skimping on sleep, or skipping regular medical checkups aren't just about physical symptoms. They deeply impact our mood, our cognitive function, and our overall zest for life. When our bodies are stiff, tired, or in pain, it's incredibly difficult to feel happy, energetic, or engaged with the world. Simple daily tasks become monumental. Social activities seem too daunting. And even enjoying hobbies can feel like a chore. This mistake isn't about aiming for perfect health or becoming a marathon runner in your 70s. It's about making peace with the fact that our bodies, regardless of age, still need nourishment, movement, and care to function optimally. It's about understanding that consistent, small efforts accumulate into significant improvements in how we feel both physically and emotionally. Think about it, how much harder is it to enjoy a beautiful day, a conversation with a loved one, or a favorite hobby when you're constantly battling fatigue, digestive issues, or chronic pain? When we make our physical comfort a low priority, we inadvertently dim the vibrancy of our lives. The good news is that even seemingly small adjustments can lead to remarkable changes. It could be as simple as incorporating a daily walk into your routine. Even if it's just 10 minutes around the block to start, it could mean swapping out sugary drinks for water or adding more colorful vegetables to your plate. Many older adults assume that building muscle or improving flexibility is impossible after a certain age. But scientific evidence repeatedly shows that our bodies are incredibly resilient and responsive to exercise. No matter how many birthdays we've celebrated, learning to prioritize consistent, restorative sleep can transform your energy levels and mood. Regular checkups with your doctor, even when you feel fine, can catch potential issues early and prevent them from escalating. I knew a gentleman in his late 70s who had gradually stopped exercising, attributing his increasing stiffness to old age. He started experiencing persistent back pain, which made him irritable and stopped him from enjoying his passion for gardening. After encouragement from his daughter, he began attending a gentle yoga class specifically for seniors. Initially, he was skeptical, but slowly, he noticed his flexibility improving, his pain diminishing, and his mood lifting. He even found himself singing while he gardened again. It wasn't about becoming an athlete. It was about honoring his body's need for movement and care, which, in turn, unlocked a renewed sense of happiness and capability. This mistake isn't about failing to be perfect. It's about failing to recognize that self-care is a profound act of self-love, and that a healthy body is a foundational pillar of a happy life. Now, let's explore the fourth subtle but powerful mistake that often blocks our path to happiness in our later years: resisting change and new experiences. As we age, there's a natural inclination to find comfort in routine and predictability. We've built a lifetime of habits, and the familiar can feel safe and reassuring. However, when this comfort transforms into a rigid resistance to anything new, new technologies, new ideas, new ways of doing things, or even new social circles, it can inadvertently lead to stagnation and a profound sense of being left behind. The world is constantly evolving, and when we close ourselves off to its changes, we risk feeling disconnected, irrelevant, and even overwhelmed. Think about the rapid advancements in technology alone: smartphones, tablets, video calls with grandchildren, online banking. For many older adults, these can seem daunting, even intimidating. It's easy to dismiss them as not for me or too complicated. But this resistance isn't just about missing out on convenience. It's about closing off pathways to connection, learning, and enjoyment. Similarly, a resistance to trying new hobbies, visiting new places, or simply altering a long-held routine can create a life that feels increasingly small and predictable, draining it of excitement and novelty. Happiness often thrives in growth, in discovery, and in the refreshing challenge of learning something new. When we cling too tightly to the familiar, we deny ourselves the stimulating experiences that keep our minds sharp and our spirits vibrant. This mistake isn't about abandoning who you are or what you love. It's about embracing the idea that growth is a lifelong process, and that curiosity is a wellspring of joy. How many times have we heard someone say, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks"? This old adage is simply not true when it comes to human beings. Our brains are capable of learning and adapting throughout our entire lives, a concept known as neuroplasticity. When we engage with new challenges, we create new neural pathways, keeping our minds agile and resilient. So, what does this resistance look like in practice, and how can we overcome it? It might be refusing to learn how to video chat with your grandchildren, thereby missing out on precious visual connections. It could be dismissing a new type of exercise because it's unfamiliar, or refusing to try a different cuisine because you know what you like. Overcoming this mistake requires a willingness to step, even just a little, outside your comfort zone. Start small. Perhaps it's learning one new feature on your smartphone each week. Maybe it's trying a new recipe, or exploring a different walking path in your neighborhood. Consider taking a class in something you've always been curious about, but never pursued. A foreign language, a musical instrument, or even a basic computer skills course at your local library. I remember an 80-year-old woman who lived near me. For years, she insisted on writing letters and refusing to get online. When her great-granddaughter moved overseas, the distance became painful. With some encouragement, she finally decided to learn how to use email and video calls. It was frustrating at first, she admitted. But the joy of seeing and speaking to her great-granddaughter instantly made every challenge worth it. She told me, "I felt like the world had opened up again." Her resistance transformed into curiosity, and that curiosity sparked immense happiness. Embracing new experiences and a flexible mindset doesn't just make life easier, it makes it richer, more vibrant, and infinitely more joyful. Finally, we arrive at the fifth profound mistake that can quietly diminish happiness in our later years: failing to cultivate a renewed sense of purpose. For many of us, much of our adult lives are structured around work, raising a family, or other significant responsibilities that provide an undeniable sense of direction and meaning. Then, retirement arrives, or the children leave home, or other life changes occur, and suddenly, the well-defined roles and daily routines that once gave us purpose are gone. This can leave a void, a feeling of being adrift, or a sense that our most productive years are behind us, without something meaningful to wake up for, something that challenges us or makes us feel needed and valuable. A quiet dissatisfaction can creep in. This isn't about being busy for the sake of it, but about having a reason to engage with the world, a contribution to make, or a passion to pursue. When we lose that sense of purpose, our days can feel empty. Our motivation wanes, and even the simple joys can seem less vibrant. It's a mistake to believe that purpose is only found in formal employment or raising a family. Purpose is a fundamental human need, a psychological drive to feel that our lives matter, that we are contributing, learning, or growing. When this need is unmet, it can severely impact our mental and emotional well-being, leading to boredom, apathy, and a general decline in happiness. The beauty of this realization is that purpose isn't a one-size-fits-all concept, nor is it exclusive to any age group. It can be found in countless forms, and discovering or redefining it in later life can be an incredibly enriching journey. It might involve revisiting old passions that were sidelined by career or family obligations, perhaps painting, playing a musical instrument, writing, or gardening. It could be found in volunteering, offering your wisdom and experience to a cause you care deeply about. Whether it's mentoring younger people, working with animals, or supporting your local community, teaching a skill, joining a club, taking on a new learning challenge like a language or a craft, or even becoming the family storyteller or archivist. All these can provide a deep sense of meaning. The key is active engagement and a feeling that your time and energy are being used for something beyond mere consumption. Consider the powerful example of an acquaintance of mine, a retired engineer who, after a few years of restless leisure, decided he missed the challenge of problem solving. He started offering free tutoring in math and physics to high school students struggling in those subjects. He didn't get paid, but he found immense satisfaction in seeing the students grasp difficult concepts and improve their grades. He would light up when he talked about their progress. He told me that this new role gave him a reason to learn new teaching methods, stay mentally sharp, and feel a profound sense of contribution. He found that helping others fueled his own happiness in a way that nothing else had since he retired. This isn't about finding another job. It's about finding a compelling reason to get up in the morning. Something that ignites your curiosity, taps into your unique strengths, and connects you to something larger than yourself. Cultivating a renewed sense of purpose is arguably one of the most powerful steps you can take to ensure your golden years are truly golden, filled with meaning, satisfaction, and profound happiness. So, as we've explored together, true happiness in our later years isn't just about avoiding problems. It's about actively sidestepping common pitfalls that can quietly erode our joy. We've talked about the quiet creep of social isolation and the incredible power of nurturing connections. Recognizing that even small steps to reach out can fill our lives with warmth and companionship. We delved into the heavy burden of dwelling on past regrets and grievances, and how the act of releasing those emotional chains can bring a profound sense of freedom and lightness to your spirit, allowing you to fully embrace the present. We also discussed the often overlooked mistake of neglecting our physical well-being, understanding that prioritizing our bodies through movement, nutrition, and rest isn't a luxury, but a fundamental building block for energy, vitality, and overall happiness. Then, we examined the trap of resisting change and new experiences, learning that embracing curiosity and stepping outside our comfort zones, even in small ways, keeps our minds sharp and our lives vibrant and exciting. And finally, we uncovered the crucial importance of cultivating a renewed sense of purpose, finding new meaning and direction that ignites our passion and makes every day feel valuable. Remember, these aren't just theoretical ideas. They are actionable steps you can begin taking today. Happiness isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you actively create through your choices and your mindset. Small changes truly can make a monumental difference in your overall health and happiness. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with one area that resonated most deeply with you today. Pick one small action, a phone call to a friend, a moment of letting go of an old hurt, a short walk, trying a new recipe, or exploring a new hobby. The consistent ripple effect of these small, positive choices will amaze you. Your golden years are meant to be a time of profound contentment and joy, a time to harvest the wisdom you've gained and to continue growing and thriving. Don't let these subtle mistakes rob you of the happiness you deserve. You have the power to shape your own narrative, to embrace each day with renewed vigor and a heart full of gratitude. I truly hope this conversation has offered you some valuable insights and a fresh perspective. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you recognized any of these mistakes in your own life? Or have you found unique ways to overcome them? Please share your wisdom in the comments below. Your insights could be incredibly helpful to others in our community. If you found this video helpful and uplifting, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. We're building a community here dedicated to living our best lives at every age, and I'd be thrilled to have you join us for more helpful content and conversations. Thank you for spending this time with me. Live your best life at every age.